Okay, folks, welcome to another deep dive. You ever have one of those mornings where where your brain feels like it's doing the intergalactic tango? That's me right now. Turns out alien cocktails and research, maybe not the best combo.
Sounds rough.
But hey, we're not here to talk about my aching neurons, right? Today, we are diving into Twin Power Scene 24. Maia and Alec are crash-landed teens. They're facing their first day of human high school. We'll be referencing the story so far along the way to kind of fill in the gaps of their, what you might call their eventful journey to Earth.
High school, a truly alien experience, even for those of us who actually grew up.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
So just to recap from the story so far, Maia and Alec, well, they're not exactly exchange students in the, in the traditional sense. I mean, they blew up a mothership, got sucked through a wormhole, crash-landed in the middle of nowhere, run-ins with bears, confused cops, the whole shebang.
Not exactly your typical study abroad program.
No kidding. And now they're trying to blend in at Central High, gotta hide those superpowers, pretend to be normal teenagers, which, as we see in Twin Power Scene 24, is not going so smoothly.
I can imagine.
The scene opens up in chemistry class, right?
Yeah.
Maia's going full-on overachiever mode, all smiles and questions and trying way too hard, while Alec, he's basically glued to his textbook, hoping to become one with the furniture.
Classic first day jitters.
Yeah.
Just amplified by the fact that they could probably levitate the whole classroom if they wanted to.
Exactly. It's that contrast, right? Like, we know they're capable of all this insane stuff, but here they are struggling with, Bunsen burners and periodic tables, and then there's the whole explaining where they're from thing. Oh, just a small town, nothing special. Sure, like they're sending postcards back home every week.
The humor really comes from that clash between their extraordinary past and their seemingly normal present. Really highlights how out of place they feel.
It's like watching a master chef try to microwave a frozen dinner. There's this underlying tension. Like, okay, how long can they keep this up? How long before their true nature comes out?
And speaking of true nature, let's talk about that whole downloading knowledge thing.
Yeah.
We learned in the story so far that the twins can basically absorb information directly into their brains, right? That's how they're keeping up in class, even though they're, not from Earth.
It's like the ultimate cheat code, but also kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Imagine just downloading fluency in another language or mastering, like, calculus in seconds. What does that do to the value of learning, to the feeling of accomplishment?
That's a great question, and the scene kind of raises it indirectly, I think. Makes us consider the difference between, instant knowledge versus actually learning and understanding something.
And what about the potential for abuse? If you can download knowledge, can you also download, like, a blueprint for a weapon? Or someone's memories?
It's a slippery slope, ethically speaking. It makes you wonder if this technology, which seems so helpful, could actually be really dangerous in the wrong hands.
Definitely a lot to unpack there. But okay, back to the scene itself. Things get even more complicated with the introduction of Damien, your classic cool kid.
Damien. Interesting character to consider, especially given the twin situation. On the surface, he's everything they're not. Confident, popular, that effortless cool.
Yeah, and we know from the story so far that fitting in is like priority number one for the twins, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to attract attention. So Damien, he's almost a threat to their mission just by being himself. Plus, he's already shown some interest in Maia, which, could be a good thing or it could be a total disaster. How do you explain super strength and telekinesis to your crush?
It creates a really dynamic situation for sure. Will Damien become an ally, helping them navigate this whole high school maze? Or will he get suspicious, sense that there's more to them than meets the eye?
Ooh, good point. Or, here's a crazy thought. What if Damien is hiding something too? What if he's not just your stereotypical cool kid?
Yeah.
What if he's, an alien too?
Now that would be a twist. While the source material doesn't suggest that, it's definitely an intriguing possibility. Imagine the tension if they both discovered each other's secrets.
Oh, the drama. Okay, so we've got the awkward new kid thing, the whole hiding their powers thing, and now a potential love triangle, possibly with an alien classmate.
And let's not forget about Kimberly, the chemistry teacher.
Wow, great.
She seems to be one of the few who actually cares about the twins, offering extra help, understanding.
Yeah, she's like a bright spot in their otherwise chaotic world. But even Kimberly's patience is going to be tested, right? As the twins continue to, let's just say, exhibit some unusual abilities in her class.
Exactly. Raises the question, how long can they keep their powers under wraps when someone is really paying attention? Kimberly could become their biggest ally, or she could be the one who accidentally exposes them.
Ooh, the suspense. I guess we'll have to dive into the rest of Twin Power to see how it all plays out. But before we go, I gotta ask our listeners something. Imagine you're suddenly thrown into a human high school. Maybe after you crash landed your spaceship. What's your biggest fear? And what skill would you download first to help you survive? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Back again for more of our deep dive into Twin Power Scene 24. We're really digging into this whole scene where Maia and Alec, our alien protagonists, are trying to make it through human high school without blowing their cover.
Yeah, my brain might still be a bit foggy from those research cocktails, but I'm right there with you. This scene, it's like John Hughes had a baby with Star Wars.
It really does blend those familiar coming-of-age struggles with, with the high-stakes world of science fiction. It's quite clever.
Okay, so let's get back to this whole downloading knowledge thing, because that's a big part of how they're even surviving high school at all, right? The story so far mentions they've got these implants, basically lets them just soak up information, instantly.
Right, and we see it in subtle ways throughout the scene. Like when Maia aced that surprise quiz on lab safety, it wasn't just luck or good guessing. She literally downloaded the whole textbook in seconds.
Which I guess brings up the question, are there downsides to this? I mean, yeah, it's cool to learn anything instantly, but does it take away from actually learning the struggle, the discovery?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think Twin Power Scene 24 hints at that, even if it doesn't give us all the answers. We see Maia just constantly downloading information, even when she doesn't really need to. Like she's becoming dependent on this shortcut, maybe losing some of her natural curiosity and her problem-solving skills.
Almost like, why bother trying to figure things out when you can just download the answer? Kind of scary if you think about it. Could stifle creativity, critical thinking, all that.
Exactly. Plus, we can't forget the potential for manipulation. Someone could control what information gets downloaded, basically control the twins' thoughts and actions. Pretty chilling, right?
Okay, so downloading knowledge, both awesome and kind of terrifying. But let's not forget the other big thing at play here. High school itself. It's like they're trying to blend in with humans who are already dealing with their own stuff, all those insecurities and dramas.
High school is basically its own little world with all these complicated social rules, unspoken expectations. Tough to navigate even if you grew up on Earth.
Totally. For Maia and Alec, it's like landing in a foreign country where you don't speak the language. Constantly watching, trying to figure out how to act, how to fit in, all while making sure nobody figures out their secret.
Twin Power Scene 24 really captures that fish out of water feeling, We see Maia trying too hard, making these awkward jokes, trying to be overly enthusiastic.
And Alec, he's like the opposite, trying to blend into the background. Which, given that he's, brooding and mysterious and all that, might actually make him stand out even more.
It's that classic introvert-extrovert dynamic, right? Except now, they're both aliens pretending to be human teenagers. It's a recipe for both comedy and tension.
And then there's Damien, the wild card. Only into Maia, but who knows what his deal is, Good guy, bad guy. We know from the story so far that the twins have some serious enemies out there.
Yeah!
I mean, is it possible Damien is connected to them somehow?
Ooh, that's interesting. Definitely adds another layer of suspense to the whole thing. Is Damien genuine? Or is he trying to get close to Maia for some other reason? We don't know, and that keeps us guessing.
Keeps us on the edge of our seats, for sure. But let's not forget Kimberly, the chemistry teacher. She's like this breath of fresh air, especially after everything the twins have been through. So patient, understanding, wants to help them succeed.
Absolutely. She represents that hope that they can find someone they can trust, someone who sees them for who they are, even with all their secrets.
But that's also the risk, right? She's smart, observant. Sooner or later, she's going to wonder how these two are picking up complex science concepts so quickly.
Exactly. How long can they keep up the charade? That's the big question. It's a ticking time bomb, basically.
It really feels like something's got to give,
Yeah.
Like a pressure cooker about to explode.
And that's what makes this scene so good. It's not just about their high school experience. It's a reflection of their whole journey, really.
Yeah.
Constantly adapting, learning, making choices that could have huge consequences.
Crash course with destiny. kind of.
Exactly. And we're right there with them, waiting to see what happens next.
Okay, so before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to hear from our listeners. What do you think is the hardest part of trying to fit in somewhere new culture, whatever? And what qualities or skills do you think would be most helpful in that kind of situation? Hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, welcome back to the last part of our deep dive on Twin Power Scene 24. We've been breaking down this key scene, where Maia and Alec, these two alien teens with seriously crazy powers, are trying to just blend in at a regular human high school.
Yeah, and it's turning out to be a lot harder than they thought, right?
No kidding. I mean, think about it. These guys have escaped exploding spaceships, fought off intergalactic bad guys, and now they're facing their biggest challenge. Pop quizzes and cafeteria drama.
It's brilliant though, because it really plays on that universal feeling. We've all felt like an outsider at some point, trying to figure out how to fit in somewhere new.
Oh, absolutely. But what makes Twin Power so cool is that it takes these everyday high school worries and mixes them with this high stakes sci-fi adventure. They're not just worried about, fitting in. They're worried about being exposed, about putting themselves and other people in danger.
Exactly. And you can really feel that tension throughout the whole scene. The way Maia tries to control her powers, the way Alec avoids eye contact. They're constantly looking around, making sure nobody's onto them.
They're walking on eggshells, basically.
Yeah.
One wrong move and it all falls apart.
And that's what makes their interactions with the other characters so interesting, I think. Each relationship kind of represents a different challenge for them, a different risk or a different opportunity.
Yeah, let's talk about Damien, for example. He's the classic cool kid, the one who just glides through high school, without even trying. And he's clearly into Maia, which just makes things even more complicated for her, right?
Oh, totally. Damien, he's kind of a mystery, We don't know his motives yet, but there's something about Maia that draws him in.
Yeah, maybe he senses that she's different, that there's more to her than meets the eye, or maybe he's just, attracted to her like teenage guys were often attracted to confident girls,
It's a classic trope, but it works, right? Because it makes you wonder, will Damien be a friend to them, someone they can confide in? Or will he become a problem? Maybe even a threat to their whole plan of staying hidden.
So much uncertainty keeps you on the edge of your seat. And then, of course, there's Kimberly, the chemistry teacher. She's she's like a ray of sunshine compared to everything else the twins have been through.
Right. She's patient, perceptive, actually cares about her students. Really a bright spot in their crazy world.
But that's also the danger, isn't it? I mean, she's observant. She notices things. How long before she starts to wonder how Maia and Alec are understanding all this, complicated science stuff so easily?
Yeah, how long can they keep pretending to be normal teenagers? It's a ticking time bomb, really.
Feels like it's all about to blow up in their faces any minute.
And that's what makes the scene so effective, I think. It's not just about high school. It's about their whole journey, their whole experience as aliens trying to survive on Earth. They're learning, adapting, making decisions that could change everything.
Yeah, and we're right there with them, watching it all unfold.
Okay, so to wrap things up, what are your final thoughts on Twin Power Scene 24? What makes it such a powerful piece of storytelling?
For me, it's the way it takes the ordinary and the extraordinary and just mashes them together. It's about finding your place, about connecting with people, about the challenges and the triumphs of being different. And it does all of that with a lot of humor, a lot of heart, and just enough suspense to keep you hooked.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Twin Power Scene 24, it's a reminder that even when things are crazy and uncertain, there's always hope, always a chance to grow, to discover who you really are.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive. But before we go, we want to hear from you, our listeners. What stuck with you from Twin Power Scene 24? What questions did it raise for you? Head over to the comments and let us know. We can't wait to keep the conversation going.